Well, good Memorial Day 2025, everyone. You see this, you know you're looking at the Doyle Building, 1891, downtown here in Kalamazoo, Michigan. Standing in one of the parking lanes, next to the bike lanes here, next to the traffic lanes, which are about to be changed to two-way traffic. There'll be two-way traffic here using up these two lanes. This used to be three lanes with parking on either side, but things have changed. Hey, let's take a little look down the street here. Some of our architecture in this part of the city, especially with the sun shining down on these buildings, really nice. Be right back. When you take the haunted Kalamazoo tour, you walk all down through here, from way downtown in Bronson Park, all the way down Michigan Avenue here, around, hearing all about the different haunts that are down here, and you'll learn about these buildings that we're looking at right here, and it's farther downtown, about how many bars and how many brothels and unbelievable what was going on here in these buildings. And this is known as the Haymarket district. Okay, development began in the Haymarket district as early as the 1830s. Had to do with the Grand Rapids and Indiana Railroad Depot, 1870, that was just down here a little ways away. Became a hub, retail, wholesaling, light manufacturing. Oh yeah. The Duesenberg block, 251 East Michigan Avenue, is Michigan's oldest surviving example of the work of Chicago architects Dankmar Alder and Louis Sullivan. And I believe that is right. You can see the block work over there. Pretty cool. Take a look here at 251. Of course, famous Coney Island. This is really a cool place. Look at the entryways. Now, some of the entries have been added a little cement, but they used to be mosaic. Another little entry going up here into apartments and lofts. Here's the Coney Island. I used to have a belt-driven fan on the ceiling in here, and I don't see it anymore. They had several of them. They've updated it, but they do have the old lighting. A lunch counter back there. Yep, really cool. Of course, the old entrances again. Some of these properties are under renovation. Gatsby's closed now. Rosenberg building. Rosenbaum building. The auto parts and the Main Street East. This used to be the First of Michigan Corporation. An investment corporation. In less than 2 hours, the parade starts. Very interesting. There's absolutely nobody downtown. Now, I'm going to be down here about another hour. Go down to the park and see what's shaking. See what's shaking here in the barber shop. There you go. And see, once as they line up, here's the famous Green Top Tavern. Now, back in the day, this advertised air conditioned on the sign. It was air conditioned. That was a big deal. Take a look inside the Green Top. They changed the sign just a little bit. It is air conditioned. There's inside the green top. Now, I know for a fact they have a heck of a hamburger in here. It's called the Green Top Burger, and it's something else. There, folks, you see an example of the Duesenberg block. Michigan, it's East Michigan Avenue's Michigan's only surviving example of the work of Chicago artist Dankmar Alder, right there. Isn't that cool? It's Michigan's only surviving example. Fantastic. I'll be right back. Little cornice work there, shelves, and the entryways here. The mail slot. You see the big G up there on top of the Fifth Third building? That stands for the Gilmore Company. Jim Gilmore is quite a businessman here in Kalamazoo, and they are still represented here in town. Gilmore Corporation, Jim Gilmore Cadillac Pontiac, sponsor of A.J. Foyt, four-time winner of the just finished Indy 500. Whole thing. Town's changed a bit since I was a boy down here. Some things still are the same, and there are some things that are not. Beautiful, right? Look how the two buildings right here, 224 and 214, the roof lines and everything meet right up. Boom, just a little wisp between the buildings. Their firewall. Pretty cool. Well, this building here had a fire 2 years ago, and it's been closed. Saugatuck Brewing Company was in here, and they have a place in Grand Rapids and a place in Saugatuck, and they closed this operation after the fire, the old Peninsular building, and moved back to Saugatuck. Here you go, downtown, looking straight down to the west on Michigan Avenue with no traffic. Memorial Day, 2 hours before the parade. Pretty cool, huh? You should see pictures of this from the 1890s and one from the 1880s. A couple buildings will be definitely familiar up here on the right, but everything else you would not recognize. Streetcars running down streetcar tracks, things like that. There's Jim Gilmore Enterprises. You can see the Indy car on top of the sign right there. The building, we're going to use the old finger pointer right here, is the oldest commercial building in the city of Kalamazoo. Little building, there's quite a plaque hanging on the front of it there. Go around the corner here and look at the left of the Peninsular building. Of course, we have the historical marker This building will be preserved. It will not be razed. There's a lot of water damage inside, I understand. Originally designed for the Peninsula Restaurant. A 3-story brick structure was built by Nicholas Bauman, 1874. A lot of Bauman buildings in Kalamazoo. Several anyway. The elegant ethnic restaurant gave way to the Franklin and Foles clothing store in 1884. After F&F Culls, where they moved in 1924, the building houses a section of businesses, a stove company, a department store, a bookbindery. That was Doubleday Brothers and Company. And a hotel. It became the headquarters for the W.R. Biggs Gilmore Agency in '73. It was quite an advertising agency. I'm not kidding you. Big time. Severely damaged by the 1980 tornado. Building was completely rehabilitated in 1980-81. Yep. Now I'll be going through a little bit more of that. And when you take the haunted tour, it is haunted. Inside here there are stair steps that lead up someplace. And can't get in there, but the stories are hair-raising. If even one of those are true, it's like, oh man, wow. Over here's another little bar, and then the Gilmore facilities, just one of them. All right. Little alley going back into the area behind. Now it's a parking lot. Used to be the Army Reserve back there. There was a beautiful Jewish temple back there. There was the Capitol Theater, movie theater, and other businesses, and they were all raised. And it's a big parking lot back there now. All right. Thanks for watching this little show here today. Little video. The sun was right. I had to stop and do it. I don't think you can blame me. You know, it is springtime, and a fella's, thoughts turn to, that opposite sex. And look over here. There's a good place you can go and have that bride-to-be go in there and check that out. I'm a bachelor myself. I can laugh at all that. I get all choked up over it. Ha! See you in the next one. Stay safe out there.